right before it felt like we got tons of information on Project L and how that's coming
did.
along. It was really interesting. I'm very curious about the game. It finds out that it's 4 player. It's 2v2 tag fighting game. Thank God,
Hopefully no
Riot Games found a way for you to blame your teammate in a fighting game somehow. It's amazing.
Somehow I can shift the blame in a fighting game to someone else. It's honestly a miracle, and I couldn't be happier.
Thank God.
Matt, I can't believe you didn't pick up that conversion that I set up for you.
I know. Like I've been for me it's sort of like, I've had to blame myself for so long that I mean, once this game comes out, we can kind of get past that.
So no more blaming the beast is what you're saying.
That's right. Yeah, mankind doesn't have to blame the beast. They just blame their teammate. But yeah, so this is very like much a Marvel hyper fighting type game with simple inputs, which I think is great. It's going to be free to play. And I think just saying that too, like having it being a Marvel style game, it makes me realize that I don't think it's going to be the free to play future of fighting games that we thought it is, because I feel like hyper fighting games are literally the least inviting version of fighting games. It can be very overwhelming for newer players to pick up and play. There's like lots of things going on the screen, that sort of thing.
Characters instead of one.
Yeah, learn 2 characters instead of one. But overall the game looks really cool. What did you guys think of Project L?
I think it's very pretty. It looks like they're making a really, really solid foundation for the game. Some of the combos they showed off were just like super sick, and I'm like, oh man, I could totally play like Ari, or I could totally play Yasuo, It seems like it's going to do well, and not just because Riot's behind it, but because like everyone that they have gotten to work on this game has like a passion for fighting games, it seems like.
Yeah.
And that really shines through in the gameplay.
And I want to say, like, it also feels like it does feel like a fighting game player's fighting game. It doesn't feel like they're babying you too much. And there's still some sauce in there. It is made by the Cannon brothers. There's lots of sauce.
Plenty of sauce.
And at least you can say it'll have like a longer lifespan than probably something like Marvel, where that game is eternally unpatched and things that really need to be fixed. But yeah, it looks like a really good time, and I want to get 4 people in a room together and play that game. That looks like a lot of fun to me. August, what did you think of Project L?
Fantastic rollback. We could all be online too.
And it's free. I can get my friend into it, or friends, whoever.
Yeah. You can con your friends into the world of Runeterra.
I really like the idea of the game. If nothing else, just because, again, like, there are so few 2v2 fighting games that are actually like, oh no, it's not you play 2 characters. It's like, no, we're going to actually have like a 4-player mode, which like you can team up with a friend and play someone else. I think that was actually one of the coolest things that Multiversus tried. Multiversus had its own issues, but one of the funnest things was just like playing with your friend for a weekend and trying to own someone else's team. So I absolutely think that's a genius idea. Apparently, one of the old Marvel champs was one of the reasons they, when he came on the project, he's also a game developer. It's one of the reasons they decided to go with it. Clockwork, who used to play Marvel 3, Marvel 2, Marvel Infinite, also worked on Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, so shout out to that. Was like, hey guys, you should make this a 2v2. And he's like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. When he talked to the league team. So, yeah, absolutely very cool idea. Excited to try it. My issues is like I want them to treat it like an esport game in the sense of that like my biggest issue with a lot of these games that come out is like if you want to have longevity, if you want to have people excited to come back, if you want to have people come back each season, you need to have new stuff each season. So I mean that was one of the things that kind of killed Multiversus is that we got all this content up front and then it was just dead for 6 months. We got nothing new, and of course like no one's gonna play the game, especially if it's a free-to-play game. And like there's no like investiture anyway. Like it costs me nothing to play it, and it costs me nothing to not play it. Unless there's like new stuff to come back to. So yeah, I mean like I just googled it. There's like 163 individual champs in League. So if we're not getting like at least 2 a year, like what am I even doing? You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like I want there to be new content to keep me invested. I want there to be new content to keep the game exciting between seasons. I want the game to kind of do what I think SF6 is doing so well, which is like they made the skill floor understandable for everyone who's just new to fighting games or new to the series, but they make the skill ceiling huge. I think that's the hardest thing to do in a fighting game is to make the skill floor accessible, but make the ceiling huge.
Right.
So like players who have played for a long time have a very long way to go to master and learn and craft new techniques. So yeah, absolutely super excited about it. Wish them the best. I just hope they master kind of the esports sense of like, we're not just putting out a game and it's going to be dead on arrival for a year. Like, I hope we're constantly updating it,
Right.
refreshing it between seasons, adding mechanics, adding changes, making things fun, and giving me a reason to go back like every year, every 6 months, even if it's just new characters.
Right. I mean, but I was looking at the gameplay trailer of it, and there is a lot there, and a lot of things that you would want to see in a Marvel type game, in a hyper fighting game. So there's push blocking, there's retreating guard or invulnerable backdashes you can use, parrying. The button system is like a light, medium, heavy. There's assist 1, 2, and then there is tag. So it's a 6-button fighter. Pretty simple. Like, if you want to do an anti-air, all you have to do is press down and heavy. Super moves are also simple. It's like down, down, +1, +2, right? Stuff like that. But there was also like tag mechanics too that they kind of added along with like bursts. I forgot to mention that as well. They have like bursts, which is cool. Dynamic saves, so like your partner can like, I think it can jump in to like knock you out of combos. But with the tag mechanics, they have things like you can use 2 assists at once, a charging assist where like the character will run across the screen, launch into assists. Oh yeah, like where you can hit a launcher, use an assist that way, and then like a character desperation type thing. So like one character dies, the other one comes in, and then there can be like a mix-up happening. So like issues in like Marvel 3, at least I believe this is how it works, where like one character dies, the other one has to jump in, and a lot of times there's no cover for that character, so they just wind up getting mixed, right? Well, in Project L, if a character dies, you have a way to like be offensive while coming in, so that you're not necessarily getting mixed up from other people as badly. But yeah, there was yeah. But there was like also like the fuse system, which kind of lets you mix things up a little bit. Other than like the double assists, like I talked about before, you have like a double down, which is like basically 2 super moves in succession. So like you do one super move, the other one does the other one, and then you have a Fury Fuse, which is when a character is low health, you get a damage bonus and you get like dash cancels. So there's so much stuff here, and there's more. There's like Freestyle Fuse, which makes it so you can basically like do a combo, tag the other character in, they do a combo, tag the other character in, so on and so forth. So there's some meat here for sure.
Oh, I mean, it seems like basically they took like all of like the most popular elements of like other fighting games and like, we'll just throw that in there, we'll throw that in there, throw that in there.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of crafting like the fighting game for people that want like that kind of hyper fighting experience.
Yep. Now this is gonna be the hottest of hot takes, and I fully think this is an L take, but like unique things that Mortal Kombat does that most games don't do are have like stage hazards.
Sure.
Do you think that would be cool in like a
No.
game like League? Because the one thing that frustrates me about stages is no one ever cares about stages. Like I know this is an L take because it's like stage hazards. Like what the fuck is this guy on? But like, I kind of like
What, you
the
want
idea
items
that
too?
like, I mean, like it would just be like crazy stage shit would happen every now and then.
Box
Like you
only.
could deal with it, you know?
No,
Uh,
that sounds awful.
There was also the Yasuo trailer that had dropped for Project L, kind
Yeah.
of wrapping that up a little bit. And it really seemed like Yasuo is a mix of Strider from Marvel vs. Capcom and also Leo from Guilty Gear in some ways, the way he like crosses people up and stuff like that. Uh, Actually, I have a specific
So Strider.
question. What? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna ask this. What did you guys think of Yasuo? Did you think he's pretty cool as a character?
Yeah, I think Yasuo looks amazing. He
Yeah.
seems like he has so many cool options available to him. I think he's going to be one of those characters that has like a ridiculous amount of depth. Like maybe like on release he'll just be kind of like okay to good.
Yeah.
And then as people are like, "Oh, wait, you could do this," he'll just like start like climbing up in like the usage and the power scale, if you will. But he looks
Yeah,
super good. He looks super fun.
I think the more like secret tech people figure out with characters, it always
Yeah.
makes the game more interesting. So yeah, I mean, if the game has been designed by some really fighting game people, I hope they haven't been held back by like WB asking them to like casual it down. But yeah, I mean, if
Huh?
it's deep as I'm hoping it is, then yeah, I'm really excited.
What?
What do you mean? Did you not hear
WB?
him? Oh, yeah, we're talking about Project L.
Project
Yeah,
L.
we're
Oh,
talking
shoot.
about
My
Project
brain
L.
is still in
Project L
multiverse mode.
Yasuo.
That's okay.
Yeah. I meant League. Excuse me. Like as I said, I'm
Riot
hoping.
Games, baby.
Yeah. As I said, I'm hoping that it is everything the FGC wants, and that it is both a game that is accessible for casuals and also very deep. That, but yeah, I'm super excited, super optimistic.
I mean, it looks like Riot's taking a really like hands-off approach and just is kind of like, you guys do what you want to do. If it sounds cool, pitch it to us, and we'll, work with it.
Yeah. I mean,
Which is kind of
Valorant's
like how we
fun.
got the 2v2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Valorant's a fun, more accessible CS:GO. So it's not like they haven't adapted hybrid genres before and made them accessible and fun. So I'm excited.
Fun.
And then I guess I have like this other league specific question for Quintessence because he is the only
Oh.
person that actually plays League of Legends. And I
That's
guess
true, unfortunately.
my
Yeah.
question is, how do these characters' movesets compare to their League of Legends counterparts, Project L to League of Legends? Do they look the same, or are they just kind of making shit up or making stuff up?
A lot of stuff is like very similar.
Yeah.
Like you saw with Ari, for example. She has like the little fox flames that can like go out and hit people.
Yeah.
She has that in League of Legends. She has her little orb she throws. That's in League of Legends. She has her dashes. That's in League of Legends. Like they're taking the core of the character and then just kind of slightly expanding it for a fighting game.
Okay.
Is what I've seen so far. Yeah.
So they're doing a very
very close.
So they're doing a very honest job in that terms of like being
Yes.
honest to the
Yeah.
characters. Okay, that's amazing because that makes me appreciate the game more. And though I'm not a League of Legends fan, and I don't think I ever will be, I do think
That's
that
fair.
these characters do look great, and I definitely appreciate their design from afar. And I'm definitely gonna be playing this game when it comes out.